Welcome to ProcuredAF. I'm Marielle, your wingwoman for government sales and CEO of Pavilion. Pavilion matches public agencies with suppliers that meet their scope and compliance requirements without having to go through a new RFP or formal bid process. And today I'm here with the one and only Tammy Rimes, former purchasing agent for the City of San Diego and now executive director at National Cooperative Procurement Partners, or NCPP. Tammy, we're talking about a situation every procurement pro knows. You've got two or more cooperative contracts that could work for your need, but how do you choose?
If you want to compare this to dating, it's like having multiple dating prospects or going on The Bachelorette. You need a way to compare them side by side to figure out who gets the rose.
So, do you make a pros and cons list or call your best friend?
Not exactly. I do something called a bake-off. A bake-off is when you take multiple cooperative contracts that can serve the same need and then compare them side by side. So let's say maybe you're going out for office supplies and you have found three cooperatives who offer office supplies. So you want to line them up with your market basket to see what makes sense. Or you may have a supplier who you definitely want to do business with, but they have multiple contracts to choose from. Again, it's a side-by-side comparison. What works best for your particular entity?
So, the good news is you've already got competitively solicited contracts, and now you just need to figure out which one serves you the best. What should agencies be looking at when they do this comparison?
There's a few key things you want to look at. First of all, number one is the contract scope. Does it cover everything you need? Does it have your specific SKU of what you're looking for? Because sometimes you need both the product and maybe some installation services as a package deal. Again, you want to look at that entire contract scope. Second, pricing. We all want to look at pricing. So pricing through cooperatives is handled in different ways. Is it a ceiling price? This is the most you'll ever pay, but you can negotiate down. Is it a discount price over the manufacturer's pricing, which would give you the best deal on your anticipated spend? And then finally, those contract terms. When does it expire? When was this awarded? Can you amend or tailor the terms and conditions to fit your agency's needs? In particular, a lot of folks needs certain insurance or indemnification language. If this cooperative contract was awarded in another state, I may want to change that to my state to make sure it's okay with my attorneys. The supplier capacity, you want to make sure, are they even capable? I worked for a very, very large city. I want to make sure that they can fill all my needs. Rebates, this is a big important thing to ask about. Some cooperatives set up a rebate structure, meaning cash comes to you either on a quarterly or annual basis. It might fund positions or projects for you. And then finally, this is a big deal for me, customer support. There's a lot of competition out there in the cooperative space. So I want to work with a cooperative and a supplier who has outstanding customer service. Get back to me with my questions. I hope that's helpful to many of you out there.
So, it's not just about price, it's really the whole package.
The cheapest price is not always the biggest deal for you. And we know this in our private lives. Sometimes when we're trying to get something fixed around the house, we might get two or three quotes. We don't necessarily go with the cheapest price. We want the best contractor to do the job. The same applies to our government jobs as well.
Walk me through how agencies should actually conduct a bake-off.
First of all, you want all the documentation. I want the initial solicitation. I want where it was advertised. I wanted to have the contract documents in front of me. I want the terms and conditions. I want to make sure the insurance requirements, everything that I need. I also want to know the expiration date. If this is going to expire next week, it might not be the contract I want. Now it's time to do the comparison. And I'll give a perfect example. I chose office supplies to go the cooperative route. There was no way I was going out to bid for that. I had four different contracts in front of me. I had 17 must-haves, must be able to deliver, must have, and then I had my market basket to do a pricing comparison. All the must-haves must be filled. All of the pricing must be done. And then the nice to haves, you want to look at that as well because different suppliers provide that. And at the end of the day, I chose the one, not the cheapest, but the best overall value for my entity.
Keeping track of that whole comparison that you did so that you can actually show your work. What does that look like?
That was a big deal as part of going before my city council for this particular contract because it was over $1 million. So I needed them to review and approve it. So I actually did a side-by-side table of those 17 factors and the pricing so that any reasonable person could look at that and come to the same choice. Now, documentation is really important because future down the road, you're in the middle of an audit and now the auditor is asking the question, so why did you go the cooperative route? A one-pager with your documentation, with your reasoning behind why you decide that route versus the bid route is usually what will apply to any audit or future questions.
We support this whole process on Pavilion's platform for public agencies, from looking to find the right supplier and contract for their needs to doing the outreach, that side-by-side comparison, and then automatically documenting everything as well. So Tammy, it sounds like the key is when you have multiple cooperative contracts that could work, you're already in a really good place because you have options. So do a side-by-side comparison on what actually matters to your agency, things like pricing, terms, supplier capacity, rebate, support, and then that bake-off helps you make an informed decision and document why this contract was the best fit. Tammy, thanks so much for helping to break this down.
Happy to help.
I'm Marielle. Let's get you procured AF.